In the state of Georgia versus Jose Antonio Ibarra, case SU 24CR0323, count 1, malice murder. I find the defendant guilty. Count 2, felony murder. I find the defendant guilty. Count 3, felony murder. I find the defendant guilty. Count 4, felony murder. I find the defendant guilty. Count 5, kidnapping with bodily injury. I find the defendant guilty. Count 6, aggravated assault with intent to rape. I find the defendant guilty. Count 7, aggravated battery. I find the defendant guilty.
We don't want revenge. Okay, revenge is bad, right? Because it gets out of hand. There's a lot of stuff that gets way out of hand too much, and we don't want revenge. And what we don't want is also just full on reactionism. We don't want that. What we want is reciprocity. Reciprocity. It's as simple as that.
Right.
And so to specific individuals who committed specific crimes, then those crimes
Correct.
will be turned against you. It's as simple as that. And so to those people who say, I don't know, deprived others of rights, to those people who, I don't know, let's take a look at these NGOs that are getting money to bring people in across the border, or the NGOs that help to fund Laken Riley's murderer and bring her down. I guess he was in New York and then brought her down to Georgia. Right. So guess what?
Yeah.
These are crimes. These are all crimes, and you're going to have to pay for that.
Yeah, I mean, her case is such an egregious example. And, Jose Ibarra is not the only person who should be in jail for life for her death. And Laken Riley is not the only American who's been hurt, killed. There's many people who have been attacked and paid the price of their life. People lost children literally because of Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Alejandro Mayorkas. And I think until we can kind of hold these people to account and prosecute them for literally murder, this is a blood-soaked administration. If you think about the carnage that has happened with these open border policies since 2020, it's really not fair to kind of just, okay, it's Jose Ibarra. He's out, he's in jail, everything's fine now. Like, no, there are other people who basically almost, they smashed her skull in with a rock just as much as he did. I have a 16-year-old daughter. She has long dark hair. I look at Laken Riley, and I saw the video of her mother, the body cam footage from the police officer when she arrived
when they introduced her, or when they explained to her what happened.
Like where the body was found, and that could be me. And when Barack Obama said Trayvon Martin looks like he could be my son. Well, Laken Riley looks like she could have been my daughter. Okay. And it should fill everyone in this country with rage. And I hope that Jose Ibarra, first of all, the DA that prevented, the woke DA that prevented him from getting the death penalty should also be disbarred, should also be impeached. There's a long list of people with blood on their hands in that one.
No, I completely agree, and that's just one instance, right? There's that we could think of thousands. So many. Jocelyn Nungrady, there's Rachel Morin, and that's just off the top of my head. That these
so many.
And President Trump. By the way, this is something that and Peachy, let me just ask you this. And by the way, can we hold you over, because I know we're getting close to the break? Can we hold you over? Can you hang?
Please do. Yeah, of course.
We will, because I wrote an op-ed earlier this year in humanevents.com saying that if you talk more about the angel moms and about what's going on to the girls of this country at the hands of illegal aliens, then that is a way to speak to the suburbs, and not it's not in a way of saying that, oh, you need to like Trump and you're going to be, oh, Trump is my buddy. And no. Trump is going to keep you safe from these murderous nut jobs that are out on the street trying to kill your daughters and rape them. And I said, I think this is going to help in the suburbs. And you look, and he won the white female suburban vote.
Yeah, these are the women who have daughters. They're playing sports. They're exposed. They're running around these cities. They are feeling if your girls are going on they're in New York City, they're on a school trip, they're going to be, they're kind of like the leading edge, and are they going to be on a subway? Are they going to be in a subway car with guys like Jordan Neely, these ranting, raving lunatics? One just stabbed to death 3 innocent New Yorkers this week. In California, almost every week, every other day, I feel like I read a local news story about a nice grandma or a mom with her kids who is hit by a drunk driver somewhere in California. And I'll check the names and, this person only had a, Mexican or El Salvador driver's license. They were here illegally. And there's just the DUI deaths alone are really astounding here in California.
Look, I'm not going to say, and I wrote, and I don't read a lot, but I wrote the op-ed on how illegal alien violence, specifically targeting young women, was something that President Trump should highlight. And not only because it is evil and horrible to our citizens and the fact that mainstream media never will, but also that it is that don't pander to women. Don't sit there and say, oh, I'm good for women. I'm great. No, I mean, yes, of course. But go out there and actually show I will keep you safe, because that is a man's role in general, is keeping the family safe, is keeping the neighborhood safe, keeping the home safe. Women run the house. Sure. Tanya, when I'm home, Tanya runs the house. All right. She runs everything that goes on inside the house. That's how it runs. But you know what? Who runs the cameras? Who makes sure that we are fully exercising the Second Amendment, right? That's me. And you can tell, guys like get excited when they talk about this stuff. But with girls, it's women, it's just not something that, I'm not saying all, but in generally speaking, people are geared towards different things. And so let's talk a little bit.
Yes.
How was it that Donald Trump and his movement were able to win suburban women?
Yeah, it's so funny. Being a Democrat, voting for Democrats, being like voting just like being a single issue abortion voter is a luxury belief. And that was something that you could do, let's say in 2018 and 2019 as part of the resistance to Trump. Like, you're going to put on your little pussy hat and do the Women's March. But starting in 2020 and 2021 and 2022, when the crime wave started, when the immigration went insane in this country, and when the kind of transgenderism had really taken hold, even in fancy suburban private schools and colleges, the women who would have voted, let's say, for Barack Obama or Joe Biden in before 2020 and earlier, suddenly were really mugged by reality. They were radicalized. Like, who radicalized them? The Democrats that they voted for did. And so by 2024, so many of them had been kind of mugged by reality. They're, driving down the street, passing another tent camp like I do every day here in LA, going to the grocery store. I mean, these things, the prices, the crime, all of it had degraded so dramatically. And then meanwhile, at their kids' school, the kids are coming home with gender indoctrination, and they're being forced to wear pronoun name tags at fancy liberal private schools. So I kept hearing anecdotally that even rich suburban families in Los Angeles were actually liberals, were pulling their kids out of schools like Crossroads High School, which is where Elon Musk's son was turned into a girl. And I was shocked to hear this. Even these liberals, it was too much for them. And so you started kind of seeing the canaries in the coal mine. And then I had this friend. She actually grew up in suburban Philadelphia. Her father was a physician. Now they live on the West Coast with 3 young boys. And she was a liberal feminist. I went to college with her. She was just hardcore Democrat, loyalist, for life. She texted me the morning of the election and she said, Peachy, she knows I'm Peachy. She said, if you had told me 4 years ago that I would had voted for Donald Trump today, I would have thought you were insane.